He's a bad beast on that barbecue, on the grill or the smoker. He knows just what to do. He's a bad beast on that barbecue.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode of Bad Beast Barbecue. Hey, today we're going to be doing a cook on our Badger Barrel. I know some of you guys have been waiting for us to cook on the Badger Barrel to see the results. So here it is. We're going to cook a slab of ribs today, okay? The slab of ribs that we're cooking, we didn't cut it in St. Louis style. We didn't take the membrane off. We just kept it whole and natural. Season it with some mustard as a binder and some simple SPG for seasoning. Okay, we want to see how much smoke flavor we get on to our ribs without any additional seasoning, and we want to monitor our temperature to see if we can control the temperature with these teardrop slots around the lid. Okay, now we normally don't put a temperature gauge in our ribs. We normally go by feel. We've been cooking ribs for so long, but I'm going to be sticking the meat stick 4X in our ribs only to monitor the ambient temperature of the smoker itself, okay, since the smoker doesn't have any type of gauge on it. All right, so let's go ahead and get this going. We already have our charcoal in here. We're cooking with Kingsford today. We're gonna be throwing some peach wood chunks up in here, and we're gonna see exactly what we get by hanging these ribs. All right, guys, so our ribs have been on the Badger Barrel for a little over an hour now, so we're going to go ahead and check them and see what they look like. But I just want you to know I had a little problem getting the meat stick connected. I don't know if it was the battery or what, so I had to go to an alternate method of kind of gauging the internal temperature of the Badger Barrel. So I hooked up my Maverick to one of the rings, and it's monitoring the temperature. Now, of course, the temperature is temperature at the top of the barrel, so not as accurate as it would have been from the meat stick inside of the meat. But as you can see, the temperature here is like 293 degrees. Now, over the hour, it's been going from 240 to 244 to 255, so it's been constantly going up. And I have closed the vents all the way down, and it's still at 293. So as I mentioned in my initial video, I think that the slots around the Badger Barrel where you hook in the latches in to bring the entire barrel together, I think that is a weak point as far as airflow going in and out. So you can't control the airflow going through those holes there. So I think it's going to be difficult to gauge or control the temperature at that, with those holes there. So it might be something that I need to modify, and we'll take a look at that. But let's go ahead and take a look at the ribs after an hour, and we'll see what they look like. All right, so we're going to remove our lid. Oh, gotta take the latches off first. Duh. So we got the latches off, and as you can see, I have the Maverick sitting here monitoring the temperature of this ring here. So not sure how accurate that is, but we'll go with that for now. We'll pull these out. Can hardly get it out. Okay. So here are the ribs after about an hour. They look really nice. No bone pullback yet, except on the end right here. So we'll keep this going. It's my meat stick that's in here, but as you can see, it's not working properly. So let's get this back in here and give it another couple of hours, and we'll see what we come up with. All right, guys, so these ribs have been on for about 2.5 hours, and I know that's a short period of time, but the actual temperature of the grill smoker itself was reaching temperatures of 335 degrees. So, uh-oh, this is a mess here. So reaching temperatures of 335 degrees, and as you can see, the ribs are really, really dark. So let's go ahead and temp these ribs right now. Got a lot of bone pullback on them, but they're like at 180, 190 degrees in 2.5 hours, being cooked at 300 degrees roughly. So the temperature was hard to control. Let's get these off of here. All right, guys, so these ribs being cooked in 2.5 hours is the definition of really hot and fast. We're gonna go ahead and cut into these. And the whole problem is that I wasn't able to control the temperature. Well, no sense in cutting into them. I can tear into them. So they come apart easy, but they look like a little dry. So, but we'll have a taste test and we'll see how the smoke, too much smoke, or what the final product tastes like. So let's have a taste test. All right, so we got our ribs here. Like I said, these were cooked in 2.5 hours, so much, much faster than I normally cook ribs. But the internal temperature temped it up to 190 degrees. But like I mentioned, it's not very windy out here today, and I closed down all of the vents on the Badger, and I had to eventually close down the circular vent at the bottom of the barrel to even get it back down to a 240-degree range over time. So with that vent open at the bottom and all of those holes for the slots, the temperature just kept rising and rising. So may take some getting used to. I may have to do some tweaking as far as my setup goes, or do some modifications, but we'll see how these taste. All right. All right, I gotta say that the rib is pretty good. It's really smoky. It's got a nice smoke content to it. Okay, it's not overly smoked either. They are a little dark for my taste because I normally wrap my ribs to prevent them from getting as dark as these did. Okay, and I normally smoke my ribs at a minimum of 3.5 hours and stuff. And for normal ribs, I normally smoke those for about 5.5 hours. My baby backs maybe about 3.5 hours because they're so lean. I normally don't cook hot and fast, but that's how we had to cook on this Badger today. And so I'm going to have to do some tweaking in order to get the temperature under control. Another thing I ran into also is the ring that goes around it with all those sections made it kind of difficult to put the rib and the hooks in and out of the Badger barrel. So I had to figure out whether or not those hooks are at the right angle or not in order to get the meat down into hanging from the rack in the Badger barrel, let's say. But, it did okay. It cooked pretty well. And, I guess the more we use it, the more we'll find out how to tweak it and get it right. So, but that's about it today. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cook. If you're interested in getting one of these, like I said, they sell them on Amazon. I'll put the link down in the description block. But as of right now, if I had to compare the Badger barrel against the pit barrel that I have, the pit barrel will hold heat a little bit more consistent because the pit barrel, even with that one hole at the bottom of it for the elevation setting, usually comes in at about 270, 275 the entire cook, okay? So, well, that's it. That's all we have time for today. So like we always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. If it's fire, then damn it, there just might be a barbecue there. Hey, as always, hey, we'll see you guys around the smoker.